Alright, welcome back. This is sim tips number 10, I think. I've been putting this off for ages because I'm not 100% sure that what I'm about to tell you is actually correct. So I'm just going to tell you what I do, not what the protocol is, or what the actual proper procedure is. I'm just going to tell you, I'm just going to show you what I do. I'll put some timestamps down because I think this is going to be a long video. There's going to be lots of different weapons. So if you're looking for something in particular, it might be, well, it should be in the timestamp. So we'll see. Right, so we'll start off with the primitive stuff. We have 65As. Now these are TV guided contrast. So there's a camera in the Maverik, and it tries to pinpoint stuff that's contrasting the ground, I guess. And then we've got some TV guided bombs as well. GBU 8s. So we'll start off with the TV stuff. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so there are a couple of buttons. Now, to toggle through the Tpod, the camera in the weapon itself, you can just use toggle. You can just use toggle view to flick through them. But if you these are just like one way. So targeting optics view, that is the Tpod camera. So you press that, you'll go straight to the Tpod camera. Optical seeker view is the camera in the weapon itself. So if you it's just one button. So the weapons that we're using for the TV weapons, it's the optical seeker. So yeah, so this is the Tpod, and this is the other one, the TV weapons. And then you need a button to lock air to ground, and there are two of them. Where is it? And what I've done is I've bound both of them on the same button just to save. There we go. There, weapon lock air to ground, and lock guided bombs. So when you're looking through the Tpod or the camera view, depending on which weapon you which weapon you have, it's one of these two. But I've just bound them both to the same button. It just makes it easier. So I think it's lock guided bombs. I think this is the TV one. Possibly, I can't remember. But I've just bound them both to the same button. It just makes it easier. Okay, so the procedure is this is what I do anyway. I point the plane at where I think the targets are, and I press sight stabilization or activate target point. They do similar things. When you're using laser weapons, they do slightly different things, but sight stabilization or activate target point will do the same thing with TV bombs and TV Maveriks. So I'm looking here, and I'm going to press activate target point or sight stabilization. So when I go to the camera in the Maverik, which is optical seeker view, the plane should have told the Maverik to look where I'm pointing with this sight stabilization activate target point. And then with the camera, when you're in the camera mode, you can move it around with the mouse, or you can assign axes and buttons with the gunner's view axis. So these gunner's view axes, I've assigned them to a thumbstick on my throttle. These will move the camera around as well. So if you do change these, you can still use the mouse to move the camera around, but these you can assign buttons as well. So a minimum value and you can go to relative control, and you can assign keys. So you don't have to use the mouse. I generally use the mouse to look around, and then use the thumbstick when I'm about to shoot and stuff. So this moves the camera around. So you don't have to use a mouse, but you can if you want. So activate target point, switch to optical seeker, fine tune the optical seeker, and when you find the target, you press. Where is it? It's up here, isn't it? You press lock guided bombs, and it should try and lock onto the target that you're hovering over. But if you press the weapon release button as well, that will try and do the same thing as this. But I tend not to do that because sometimes I make mistakes and it drops or fires a weapon when I don't want it to. So I just use this lock guided weapons for TV stuff. So we'll go through it now. Resume. So There is stuff down here, so I'm going to put activate target point. And you can see that's where the camera's looking. Which is quite useful, that's where it's looking. And then I'll go to the camera in the thingy. And then move it around. I think there's a tank here. Then I'll press the lock weapon. It's tracking. And then fire. And because it's TV guided, I don't need to stay looking. So I'll do that once more. It should hit. I don't know if it'll kill it, but it should hit it. There we go. We hit it. A T55. Okay. So I'll do that once more. Okay, we'll try that again. So you see, there is a square box in the middle of the screen which helps you see where the plane's looking. So I think there's something down here. Activate target point. It's a bit high actually, so we'll do it a bit lower. Activate target point. And we can see it's looking at something. Then we go to the optical seeker. Move the cursor over the thing that you're looking at. Press the weapon target button. It's locked it, and then press fire. And it should hit. There we go. Yeah, so actually, the lock-guided bombs might be just TV bombs, walleyes and things. But regardless, this is the button you're pressing to acquire a target. So I said it. Once you've got them both on the same button, you don't need to know which one's which. So I'm guessing that's walleyes, and I'm guessing that's everything else. But regardless, that's the button that we press. And if you look where it says AGM, it'll say acquire. Then once it's acquired a target, it'll either say point or track. So point is something that's still, and track is something that's moving. So we'll point it at the carrier. We'll go into the camera view, then we'll press the weapon lock. Seeker on, and it says track. So that means it's tracking a moving target. And then we'll fire. And if it was tracking something that isn't moving, it would say point. So when you're, for example, when you're going for a convoy and you're trying to lock something and it says point, what it's done, it's locked something on the ground and it hasn't locked the stuff that's moving. So you got to make sure it says point next to where it says AGM or whatever it is. And it should hit. But then again, the carrier's a bit bugged in test flight, so it might not hit. Okay, so the GBU 8's TV things. So it's a similar way to attack, to lock the tag. Weapon select. Switch to the target. Press lock. Okay, and I think I can just press it and it's just released. And I think it will drop. On whatever I was attacking. There we go. Target destroyed. So it's very similar way to lock. Well, it's the same way to lock the as the Mavericks. You've just got to judge how close you are, because I don't know if the HUD tells you if when you're in. I don't know if the judge I don't know if it tells you, but basically it will just guide itself. If you're at the right altitude and the right distance, it'll just guide itself. But we'll try that again. Okay, let's try this on again. But I say locking on is the same as the 65As, but just got to judge the distance. As I said, some HUDs might tell you when to drop it, but this one I don't think it does. I'm not sure. So activate target point. Lock the thingy. It's tracking, so I'm just going to drop it. So it might work. I think it'll work. Said it was tracking. So we'll see. So I much prefer TV stuff than there we go. Kaboom. Directly on. So yeah, GBU 8. So basically I think most TV stuff will act the same way. It's just, you just got to judge, because I think the fins move so it can actually glide or maneuver itself, but you just got to be careful how high you are and how far away you are. Yeah, that's those. Okay, so I've got the AIM-65Ds now. So these are thermal. You can use it with the pod. I'll use it next time. But with this plane, you can target stuff with the helmet. So if I'm looking here, I can press activate target point there, and that's where the camera will look. The Tpod will look. So deactivate. So we'll go for that Tunguska, whatever it is over there. I'll activate target point. So by the time I've turned around, the Maverik and the Tpod will be looking there. So I'll switch to the Maverik. So let's not forget. So the optical seeker is the camera in the weapon. Targeting optics is the pod. So we're going to go to here first. So in the camera, and then we can look at this. Then we can press target, tracking, fire. We may be too close there. There we go, and then we hit it. Okay, so we'll try that again. So with the 65D, you get a zoom, obviously, and you get thermal. So I've got thermal on a thumbstick, so where is it? It is... okay, because these 65Ds are thermal, when you look at the camera in the Maverik, if you press this button, switch NVD mode, the camera will switch to thermal. So this is what I've got. And this is the same button that, if you're in the cockpit, will switch the night vision on. So not only does the night vision in the cockpit, it also does the thermal when you're in the camera on the Tpod and the camera in the Maverik as well. So that's your thermal button. So if I go to close, it does night vision in the cockpit, but it also, when you're in the camera here, it also does thermal. Can't see much, actually. Can't see much, but it does thermal, which is quite useful. Let's try it with the Tpod. So I know there's a truck down there, so we will do activate target point down there. So when I turn around, the Tpod will be looking in that direction when I turn around. I'm trying to turn this radar off, but it won't come off. Get off. There we go. Okay, so we've reloaded. The Tpod is still looking where I pointed. So this time we'll go into the Tpod. Okay, so why's my HUD disappeared? Okay, so controls again. So this time it's targeting optics view. So this is the Tpod. So we go to Tpod. We know the thing is nearby. There it is there. We can go thermal in the Tpod as well. And then we press the same button. Seeker on, tracking. There's a red box above it. There we go. So the Tpod has a lot better zoom, as you can see. And is it going to blow up? Yes, it is. Okay. That is that, really. Okay, we're in the A10C with some laser Maveriks. There are some buttons. So, controls. First of all, we need to know the laser button. Laser. So, this button obviously turns the laser on and off. And if you don't have it on, the laser Maveriks won't work. There is an options. There is somewhere in, I think it's in options. Activation. There is something that enable laser detonator. So if you don't want to do that, you can just do it auto and it'll turn it on for you. But I've turned it off. So that is there. But yeah, I've got a button for laser. So you turn the laser on. These buttons still occur. So as I said, I don't know which one's which. So I've just grouped them together. You press that button to lock. So we need activate target point and sight stabilization. I mean, this is the way I do it. I don't know how it's supposed to be done properly, but this is the way I do it. So you point the plane at where you think the target is, or because this plane's got a head-mounted display, I just look where I think it is, and then I press sight stabilization, and that just points the Tpod at where you're looking. Then when you're looking, when you switch to the Tpod, which is this one here, targeting optics, you switch to the Tpod, you move the camera, you move the Tpod over the target, then you press activate target point, and then a green box appears over the target that you're looking. And now you can turn the laser on, or you can have the laser on all the time, but you need the laser on before you can fire. So activate target point. So when there's a green box over the target, you can press sight stabilization again, and you'll see a green circle inside the green box, and you can move that around with the mouse or whatever controls you've set up here, and that green circle is the laser. So you can move the laser independently of what the Tpod is looking at, but I'll show you that in a minute. So when you're ready to fire, you just press these buttons, and it'll tell you if you're locked or not, and then you just press the weapon release. So I'll go through that. I'll turn around. Okay, so another Tunguska is at the end of this island bit. So I'm looking at the island. I'm trying to press my head. I'm trying to make my head steady. Press sight stabilization. So that's where the Tpod is looking. So when I turn around, okay, I go to the Tpod view. I can move in, I can zoom, and then I can press activate target point above the target, the green box. I can switch the laser on, and now I press sight stabilization again. I can move the laser around. So if I want to hit somewhere like that, I can do it. Now I press target lock, and it says I'm outside the range. I'm outside the range for some reason. Why am I outside the range? Okay, it says I'm outside the range, but I'm firing. And there we go. I don't know why it says outside range, but it shouldn't be. So I'll try that again. Okay, so let's do that again. So we point the plane at where we think the enemy is, or we use the head-mounted display. We press sight stabilization. That moves the Tpod to where you think the enemy is. Then you press the targeting optics button, which is the Tpod, and then you can the NVG button we saw before. We can turn thermal on if you want. Then you move the target, you move the Tpod over the target and press activate target point. Then you can turn the laser on if you want. Then you can press sight stabilization and move the laser again if you need to. And when that's done, you can press this button, and that will lock. The plane will lock the Maverik to where you're looking, and then you can press fire. Now it did say weapon wasn't in range, but I think it's some sort of bug. So we'll try that again. We're looking over there. Sight stabilization. So the Tpod is looking over there. We'll switch to the Tpod. we'll zoom out. I mean, you can put the thermal on. You can see a tank there, so we'll turn that off. Activate target point, and then turn the laser on. Sight stabilization, you can move the laser around if you need to. I don't think I will. Press the target air to ground button. Seeker is on. It says outside the launch range, but I don't think it is. Right, power again. Point. It's tracking now, so it says AGM point. So now it's tracking. It says outside the launch range, but I don't think it is. Now I'm going to press fire. But the only problem is you've got to keep the Tpod looking at where you want it to go. So for some reason it did say outside launch range, but I don't think it was. There we go. So we will reload and we'll try that again. I don't know if it tracks moving targets. We'll find out. Okay, we've reloaded. So there are some boats moving. I'll put the sight stabilization. So I don't know if this will work. Switch to the Tpod. Sight activation. It did track. T laser. Sights. We'll move the sight stabilizer and we'll move the laser a bit closer. Air to ground track. It's tracking. So it's tracking a point. So I don't know if it's going to, but we'll see. We'll see. Ah, it did. It does track. It does track. It says point because it's looking at the laser. It's and the laser to the machine, to the plane. I don't think it thinks that the laser is moving, so it is. It's technically a point. Yeah. Yeah. That's why it says point, because it's looking at the laser. It's not looking at the moving target. Okay, so that works as well. Okay, laser GBUs. I really don't like using these. I just can't get them correct. So, first thing, air battles. You can get the game to put the laser on before you launch for you. I've turned it off. So what I've got is, I just type laser, toggle laser designator. I've got a button to turn the laser on and off. So you can get the game to do it yourself, but you don't have to. So, basically, what we're doing is very similar. Activate target point. Where the hell are you? Where've you gone? So, we need activate target point. Tells the Tpod where you're looking. So you turn around. The Tpod is looking at the target. Go into the Tpod mode. Then you hover over the target and press activate target mode, target point again, and eventually a green box will appear over the target. Then you can turn the laser on. You can turn the laser on any time you want, but then I turn the laser on, and if I want to move the laser, I press sight stabilization and I can move the laser. When you're happy with that, if you haven't crashed into the ground by now, you then switch to the optical view to make sure that the bomb is looking at what the Tpod is looking at. And when you're happy with that, you can release. But I can never get the altitude right and the distance right, so I'll try my best, but we'll see. So activate target point. Go into the Tpod. Hover over the target, press activate target point again. You'll get a green box. Turn the laser on. Press sight stabilization if you want to move the laser a bit. Go into the optical seeker, make sure it's looking at the same thing the Tpod is looking, and then press the weapon release. You can only go into the seeker head if you go into the Tpod first. You can't go into the seeker head by itself, so you've got to go to the Tpod, then the seeker head. So I will try and show you. It's so complicated. I really don't like using them. So, yes, so even if you have dampening on, even if you've leveled and trimmed your plane level, as soon as you go into the Tpod, the plane forgets everything and then starts climbing, and it's really annoying. So you just got to make sure that the plane is pointing at where you're looking, because the bombs need to see the laser, and if your plane is not pointing roughly where you want it to be, it won't see them. So activate target pod roughly where you think the enemy is. Go to the Tpod, zoom out a bit, find the target, which is there. Activate target point. You get a green box eventually. There we go. Turn the laser on. Stabilize sight, moves the laser around. Switch to the seeker head, and it's not looking at the same place. So you need to be pointing at the same place as a laser. So if I got the seeker head and now it's pointing. So we'll turn around and do that again. So as I said, you need to have the plane pointing roughly, because they have a small angle where they can see. So we'll try that again. Okay, yes, so these are so annoying. So activate target point where you think the enemy is. Roughly over there somewhere. So you need to have the plane pointing where you think the enemy is, because the seeker heads need to see the laser. So it's down here. Activate target point, green box. Turn the laser on. Stabilize if you want to move the laser. Go to the seeker head. The seeker head's not looking where I'm looking for some reason. Go to the Tpod again, and then the seeker head is now looking, and now I can drop it, and then just hope for the best. So if the seeker head isn't looking at the target, it won't track. There we go. Kaboom. It's so annoying. I hate them so much. I hate them with a passion. I don't know why you would use them unless you... I don't know. I just don't use them. Okay, so we have some Jdams now. Or GPS bombs. We'll try and link them all together, as many as I can anyway. So apparently you can use these without... I've got the Tpod, but I think you can use them without the Tpod. Or maybe you can. I don't know. Oh, maybe you can. Don't know. Okay, so there is a preset for these without the Tpod, but I've never used them without the Tpod. So activate target. Go to the Tpod. It didn't even... Yeah, it didn't register, did it? So all I do is zoom in, press weapon release, and then do the same thing for these. Press weapon release, and then press weapon release. That's all I have ever done. So it should get them. Hopefully. Yeah, there's one, there's two, and there's three. So that's all I do. As I said, there is a preset without a Tpod, but I don't know how that would work. So I wouldn't even bother. So basically, yeah, you just hover the Tpod and just press weapon release, and that's, you know, Bob's your uncle. That's it. So let's have a look at the glide ones. Now, depending on how big the GBUs are, you've got to work out how high you've got to be and how close you've got to be. I don't know if the HUD tells you the optimal distance, but you just got to work it out, I think. Okay. So I can't. So I have the bigger glide bombs on the inside, and I've got the smaller ones on the outside. I can only fire the smaller ones first. I can't select it. I can't select the other one, so I have to release the 250s first. But I'm pretty sure it's just the same. It's just the same method. We'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna have to hunt these down, aren't I? Okay, so I'm gonna have to use the thermal sight because I don't know where they are. Okay, so somewhere down there, activate. Look at the pod, look at the thermal. Can I see anything? The yeah, I can't see anything. They should be over there somewhere. There's one there, look. So all I do is hover over it, release. I think I should be fine there. Oh, there's something there. Oh, that's moving. I'm not going to get that one. Where's the other stuff? I don't know. Yeah, so basically, can I don't know what the button is to look at the... I don't know what a button is. It should hit it. Wherever it is. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so it's quite difficult to see stuff. Yeah, so it's basically the same. You just press activate target point, and then just hover over what you think is a target, and then just press the weapon release, and it'll just glide to it. You just got to work out how high you are and how far you are away. But these glide bombs do glide for quite a while. I don't think there's anything else to show you there, to be honest. They're one of the easiest things, I think. Well. Yeah, I'm trying to find some Soviet... I don't have many Soviet attackers that have all the stuff on it. So, for example, the Cab 500 TV bombs, they're very similar to the GBU8s and the Walleyes. So it'll be the same procedure. These laser MLs are similar to the laser Maveriks. So there won't be much difference with those. The KH-29, they're just really massive laser Mavericks. The TV guided, they're pretty... I might be able to look at those. TV. So I'll see if I can find some stuff. So these laser rockets, they're very similar to any other laser stuff. I think the procedure is the same. And we'll have a look at the Vikhr because they're a bit different. I don't think there's much difference. KH-29. No. 29T. Yeah, so the GPS things. I think I did a video on the SU-24, and a lot of the stuff I explained on there. TD, these are... Well, these are the really big K29s. Have a look at those. Can I have a look at those? I'll see if I can have a look at those. Okay, so TDs. So we get K29Ts, we get K29TEs, which are extended range. And then we've got TDs, which I think I'm guessing the extra. So there's no Tpod on this plane, so I just go straight to the seeker head. And then not do that. We'll go to activate target point to look at straight ahead. And then what do we do? Press activate. We target ground. There we go. Yes, seeker tracking. So what we pressed there was that button again. Where is it? It was this button here. So it was one of these two. As I said, I've put them both together. So weapon lock air to ground or lock guided bombs. So it was this button probably. It locked. It says seeker off. Seeker on, tracking. Okay, so we just press the button again a few times, and then we just press release. And you know that missile's a The devil in disguise. Okay, so that is a dangerous missile, which should hit. It went straight through the butt, didn't it? It went straight through the butt. Okay. E-spot's ready. Let's see. Is there anything else we can? Amazing. I think that happened last time I was here. I think there are some more boats down here. Maybe. Not sure. Yes, there are. Okay, so we'll do that again. Activate target point down there. Go to the seeker head. And then press air to ground lock. Seeker tracking. Fire. Is that going to hit? It went straight through the boat again. Alright, so those are broken. That is truly outstanding. So none of these boats are actually boats, they're just, I don't know what they are. But anyway, yeah, you just press the weapon lock air to ground and it'll just lock onto a phantom plane, or a phantom boat, whatever it is. So I said the laser weapons will be exactly the same as laser Maverik, so I'm not going to show them again. I'll try and have a look at these Vikhrs if I can get a chance. These are slightly different, I think. So this is one of the few planes that allows you to trim while in dampening mode, but it still will not fly level when you go into the Tpod. It just does whatever it likes. It's E-spot's ready. Right, we'll have a look at these boats. So we'll activate target point where we think the boats are. Over there somewhere. And then we'll activate target point again. We'll get the green box, turn the laser on, go back to the cockpit, and then make sure the circle is inside the green box on the hood, and then we can fire. It's just one more thing you need to look at. So we look at the boats where we think the boats are. Activate target point. Now you can do it without looking at the pod, but I'm just going to look at the pod. Look at the pod. It's already found the target. Press the laser button. The laser is on. Go back to the cockpit and just make sure that the circle is inside the square. And I think you should be in range. And then just fire. And it should hit. But you've got to keep your plane, the laser pointed, obviously. Yeah, so those boats aren't actually there, because it just went straight through it. So we'll have a look at some other targets. Okay, there might be some junks out there. So yeah, as I said, I pressed activate target point from the cockpit and it locked onto something straight away. So activate target point there. Then we go to the pod if we need to, and then hover over something. Activate target point again. The laser is already on. Go back to the cockpit, make sure the circle is inside the square. And here it should give you a range. Yeah, it's NP, I think you can launch range. And then fire. And it should hit. Or go straight through and not do anything. Okay. So that's it, really. These aren't, they're not as difficult as I thought they would be, but as I said, in DCS I just look at this screen, or I look at the hood, because in DCS you can move the laser inside the hood as well. You don't need to go to this screen, because this is not a real screen in DCS. You don't look at that. We'll try that again. Is there any boat that's real? Is there anything real on this map? Amazing. Okay, that's not there. So, there's some boats here. Activate target point. Go to the pod. Zoom in. The laser's already on. Activate target point. Laser is on. Make sure the box is covering the circle. It says NP, which is launch authority. And then we can fire. And we'll see if these boats are real. No, nothing is real. Nothing is real. Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange. Do those tanks over there? Are they real? Okay, there, I found something. Okay, activate target point. The laser is on. Okay, I found something. There it is. It's well, this hit. It took me a while to find it. Okay. Is this a real tank? Is this real? Yes, it is. Okay. So I think you can. Yeah. So with that square in the middle of the hood, you can. You don't have to use this TV camera. So let's have a look. Okay. You could just use the hood to lock something, I think. Have a look. If I go down to here. There, we've locked it, so we can fire. Yeah, okay. So you can do it from the hood. And you can do that with Mavericks, IR Mavericks as well. Just try pressing the weapon, air-to-ground weapon lock, and it should just lock it. Ah, okay. That's the Vickers. Or Vikhr. Vikhr? I don't think there's much else, really. You do get some Beam Rider missiles, but I think they're pretty straightforward. Who's got them? SU-17? Yeah, so basically you just point the plane at where you want the missile to go. I don't think there's much to it, really. I think this is on by... When you select this weapon, I think this is already on, and you just point the plane at what you want to blow up. I don't think I'd ever use them, but that's what they are. But as I said, most of these laser missiles are the same procedure as all the others. I hope that helps. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I don't think I've missed anything. I'm sure people will be in the chat going, actually, I think you'll find if you press sight stabilization before activate target point, you'll get a much better result. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you later.